Blancheflower. There are things I could tell you.
What is your name?
It's Danny. I've taken a pseudonym in honor of Danny Blancheflower.
And who is Danny Blancheflower?
Did she say who's Danny Blancheflower? He's God, that's all. It's my life.
And it's football American style now with the American Bowl 1987 at Wembley.
Tonight, American football is the talk of London. Last year, the Cowboys hunted but couldn't tame the Bears. This year, the NFL brings two more of its star attractions to Wembley Stadium for the American Bowl 87. Colorado, last year's Super Bowl runners-up, the classy Denver Broncos. From California, the massive, intimidating Los Angeles Rams. If anyone doubted the hold American football has over the British public, it's here for all to see tonight. Yesterday, not even the cream of the world's soccer players, not even Diego Maradona, could fill this place. Tonight it's jam-packed for this imported phenomenon. The crowd limit was set at 80,000. The tickets were snapped up within days. Most of the spectators have been here for hours, soaking up the atmosphere. They came here for a fun night. They're determined to enjoy themselves. Welcome to Wembley Stadium on this festive night. John Smith with me. John, quite an occasion.
It is. The excitement's just tremendous. It's not just a game anymore, it's a spectacle. It's really the only international event that the NFL has to showcase their game. And it's just tremendous for the British fans to see two of the top teams in the NFL here on their own turf.
What kind of a game is it going to be?
Well, it's one of 5 preseason games that these two teams will play. So we will see the stars, but we're also going to see a lot of young players trying to make it in the NFL. Their careers are at stake. They're fighting for their lives out here. So we should see a lot of spontaneity, a lot of good plays, and anything could happen.
Right, now because this is a pre-season game, both teams will be using the majority of the 90 players that they have at the moment on their roster. Some, of course, are going to be cut. But each team does have one key player who will play an important role. Both will be on show tonight. The Broncos quarterback John Elway has developed after 4 years in the NFL into the coach's ideal playmaker. A passing arm that works like radar, he showed in the AFC Championship game against Cleveland that he can use it under the severest pressure.
He was the #1 player taken in the 1983 college draft and was described as the perfect quarterback. Big, strong, smart, tutored by his father, a college coach. He found it hard to live up to the billing the first year, but gradually established himself. And now he's the golden boy of the NFL. He led his team to the Super Bowl last year. He's a leader with great vision, versatility, and spontaneity. Defensive players hate to see him coming.
Eric Dickerson has been the spearhead of the Rams offense since he joined them 4 years ago. He's been the leading rusher in the NFL for 3 of the last 4 years, including last season when he carried the ball for over 1,800 yards and took the Rams into the playoffs.
Definitely the premier running back of the 1980s. First-round choice in 1983. He's virtually the whole Rams offense. Teams plan their defense to stop Dickerson. Defensive players hate to go one-on-one with him. When he breaks into the backfield, he's unbeatable one-on-one. It usually takes 2 or 3 to bring him down.
Now those are the main protagonists. For those of you who need a refresher course on how the game works, here's John.
As we hold the action, Washington in red have the ball on their own 30-yard line, playing from left to right. Washington have 4 attempts, known as downs, to gain a total of at least 10 yards and retain possession. It's 1st and 10, their first attempt with 10 yards to go. Washington can move the ball by running with it or passing it. You can pass backwards or forwards. Let's see what happens. In fact, they run with it. The quarterback, Joe Theismann, hands the ball to running back John Riggins, who gains 4 yards before being tackled. A gain of 4 yards. 6 left to go. 2nd down coming up. So it's 2nd and 6. Again, the Skins run the ball. Another gain of 4 yards by Riggins. So now 8 gained in total, 2 to go, but it's 3rd down. 3rd and 2. This time, Washington pass. Theismann drops back and prepares to throw. As his receivers set off downfield, let's consider the possible outcomes. 1, Washington catch the pass. The play is complete and they retain possession. 2, the opposition catch the ball, an interception, and they have possession. 3, no one catches the ball. The play is incomplete. Washington retain possession. No yards are gained or lost, but the down is wasted. Let's see what in fact happened. A perfect pass. Art Monk, the wide receiver, makes a good catch, and Washington have easily gained their 10 yards. They retain possession. Washington starts another series of 4 downs. They've moved to the opposition's 40-yard line and are in a scoring position. 1st and 10. Washington go for the pass immediately. Perfect again. Their tight end makes a clean catch and sprints into the end zone for a touchdown. 6 points. After a touchdown, an extra point can be added with a successful kick. Instead of going for a touchdown, a team will sometimes attempt a field goal, worth 3 points.
Right, let's get on with the action. Our match commentators, NBC's Merlin Olsen and Dick Enberg.
Clifford Hicks, number 28, and Ron Brown, 89, deep to return for the Rams. Brian Wagner, a rookie from Cal State Northridge, to kick it off. It's to Hicks, the rookie from Oregon. 15, 20, and out to the 26-yard line. And this crowd, enthusiastic, colorful, exciting last year, seems even more so for this 87 encounter.
I think they have a little more knowledge about the game this year. They seem to be more responsive, but I think they also know more about the game.
You see the starters for the Rams: Everett at quarterback with Dickerson and Gooman, Brown and Henry Ellard, with David Hill the tight end. We apologize for the loss of sound at the top of our program, so that part hasn't changed from last year. Everett over the middle, almost intercepted. It's caught by David Hill. Dennis Smith, number 49, had his hands on it, but Hill, the huge tight end for the Rams, able to out-wrestle the Bronco defender. Gilbert, Townsend, and Jones. You notice Andre Townsend moving from outside to the nose tackle. Jim Ryan, Carl Mecklenburg, Ricky Hundley, Ken Woodard. Woodard for the retired Tom Jackson. Mark Haynes for the surprising retirement of Louis Wright, Tony Lilly, Dennis Smith, and Mike Harden, the back four. Steve Foley, another retiree for Denver. 4 veterans leaving the club this year. Dickerson's first call nets him only a yard. Freddie Gilbert, number 90, there for the tackle.
Freddie Gilbert beefed up to 280 pounds. Moving in on that left end position. They've moved Rulon Jones over to the right end. He played right end before last year. Last year, of course, played left end. And they're really trying to do 2 things. They're trying to get into a defensive alignment that can play better against the run and also put more pressure on the quarterback without blitzing those linebackers.
3rd down and 4. Everett's first throw, no. They gobble him up at the 27-yard line. Andre Townsend, 61, along with number 77, Carl Mecklenburg.
Everett back to throw that football, but he's been trained. If it's not there, you're going to eat it. That's a sight we'll see often. over the next weeks. Carl Mecklenburg, adept at getting on that quarterback's back.
Dale Hatcher, the veteran Ram punter, to Ricky Natil. Natil, 84, the top draft pick of the Broncos. They're in love with this young man from Florida. He fair catches it, and a difficult catch at the 38-yard line, and the Broncos will take over at that spot. Natil has explosive speed and seems to catch everything in sight, what we've heard from the coaches and what we saw this week here in London. There's Elway with Winder and Lang, the backs that were behind him last year. Vance Johnson, the veteran Steve Watson, tight end Clarence Kay, recovering from some drug problems of last year. We'll get into that later. Studdard, Bishop, Brian Cooper, Lanier, the men in front of Elway. Just underway in London. 2.5 minutes gone, and Elway's first offensive play. He's going long for Johnson, and a flag down. Jerry Gray, 25, the cornerback, bumping Vance Johnson. And we'll see if that's interference or the 5-yard preliminary hit. The flag dropped at the 34-yard line. There are the officials. And they too have enjoyed the experience of being here in London this week.
Number 25 defense, first down.
Illegal contact downfield out of that 5-yard zone. I think Gray a little concerned about the speed of Vance Johnson. With Natil and Johnson and Jackson, the Denver Broncos have 3 receivers with blinding speed. That's going to scare any defense.
5-yard penalty and a first down. Reed, Meissner, and Miller, the starters on the front line. Kevin Green, a name to remember. He is a budding defensive star, joining that linebacking crew. Gray, Newsome, Cromwell, and Sutton. Sutton for Leroy Irvin. Sammy Winder darting to about the 48-yard line. Mark Giroux, 59, the tackler. Gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Dick, success breeds success. It also, in the case of the Rams, breeds some contract problems. Leroy Irvin unhappy with his contract for this year. Had signed an extension for the next 2 years and finally decided to practice, but has only had a couple of days of practice, and his coaches did not believe enough to put him into the game tonight, so he will not be on the field this evening.
Nicky Sutton, 49, playing at that right corner as the starter. 2nd and 5 for Elway. Gun to Watson through his hands. Again, the ball will be a bit slick. The grass is wet. It rained fairly hard for about 45 minutes at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Looked like that ball may have been tapped too. It may have been touched by Sean Miller on the right-hand side. Watson adjusts to the ball as he goes downfield, but then the ball just seemed to take off. Here he is, and there just, I think it had been tapped. It was it looked like a frisbee coming out there.
3rd down and 5. Watson, who is the slowest of the Denver Bronco receiving corps, and that's only because they have just absolute blazing speed in Johnson, Jackson, and Natil. 3rd and 5 for Elway. Under pressure, gets away for a moment. Doug Reed finishes the job, number 93. It was Kevin Green applying the early pressure. Elway eluded him, but on came Reed, the 4-year man from San Diego State.
Elway, more adept, I think, than any quarterback in the league at escaping pressure, could not escape a horde of Ram tacklers. And Green, who does the same job for the Rams that Mecklenburg does for the Broncos, was the first man to pull him down, and then Reed was there to put the baggie together on him.
So both quarterbacks taste the turf here at Wembley on a 3rd down pass attempt. This is Wagner, who kicked off for the Broncos, to Clifford Hicks at the 20-yard line and hit immediately. The Rams will start from around their own 20. But Eric Dickerson could care less as he rambles for 11, maybe 12 yards before he's tripped up by Dennis Smith.
Dick, it was interesting before the game. The biggest rounds of applause, obviously, for this man, Eric Dickerson, finest runner in professional football. And, well, we say that with apologies to Walter Payton, but Dickerson has led in 3 out of the last 4 years. And, of course, the other man that received the applause, John Elway.
Over the middle and through the hands of Mike Goman, well covered by Jim Ryan. Ryan, the 9-year veteran from William and Mary. 2nd and 10 for the Rams at their own 33-yard line. No score. 10 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in this first period. It will be up to the coaches, but they both estimated that the first line players will play about a quarter and a half. Dickerson, little delay. Oh, look at the power of the man as he crosses the 40-yard line and a gain of 7.
I asked Eric Dickerson if he'd thought about how long he'd like to play in the NFL. He said, well, I think about 10, 11 years. Well, that's a long life for a running back, but his unusual style, he's a punishing runner, and yet he rarely takes those straight-on hits. He has a way of shifting his body and delivering those blows, but I tell you, when you carry the ball as many times as he has over the last 4 years, it's got to take its toll on you.
More than anyone has ever carried the ball in his first 4 years in the NFL. 3rd and 3. Everett has a first down across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Tony Lilly there, number 22 for the Broncos.
We've talked about the Rams' emphasis on the passing game. A new offensive coordinator, Ernie Zampese, and of course this new quarterback, really in his first training camp, came in from Houston, would not sign with the Oilers. The Rams put him to work for the latter part of the season, but he really is still a learning young quarterback.
First down at the 46.5. Ellard and Brown, the speed to the left. It's Dickerson running right, and a flag down as Dickerson reaches the 50-yard line. Ryan again in on the tackle for Denver. And thrown by the linesman where we'd suspect just that, offside Rams.
But Dick, if there is a perfect situation for a young quarterback, it's right behind the running of Eric Dickerson.
Now that'll make you a better passer.
Oh boy, will it ever.
From play one.
Will it ever.
8:30 remaining in a scoreless first period. The ball at the 41-yard line. Los Angeles Rams possession. First down and 15 after the offside penalty. A screen to Dickerson. This is the play they're working on. He's at the 50 into the Denver 49. Gain of 9 yards, maybe 10 for Dickerson. Oh, that's frightening to give him that kind of room. And of course, Chuck Muncy was that back in the San Diego offense.
Well, what they're doing is spreading the defense. They're forcing the defensive backs off. The linebackers are off, looking pass, and then Dickerson just swings to the outside. Little screen. They've tried to give him room. Fine block out there. Tony Slayton, I believe, 61. Maybe Duval Love. Hard to see. No, it was Newberry. Tom Newberry.
Whoops, a little confusion there. The man that hit Dickerson first was his quarterback, and short yardage the result, maybe a yard or two. Call it the 48-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
We're going to see some rust from these two offenses. It takes a longer period of time to get those offensive units together. The defenses at this point in training camp always a little bit ahead of the offenses. It really only takes one guy to mess up a play. And if you don't have all 11 guys working correctly and together on offense, it's not going to work.
Whereas a defensive player, even if he does something crazy, can
sometimes
make the play.
It destroys the play. Exactly right.
Everett looking for the first down yardage. Oh, Mike Harden, who intercepted 2 for touchdowns last year, had 6 points in his grasp.
We talked about some of the changes in this defensive secondary for the Denver Broncos. Losing Steve Foley and Louis Wright was a great loss, not only in terms of performance, but also in leadership. Mike Harden is the man they're counting on to take over the leadership responsibilities in that secondary. Gosh, he could have had a free track all the way into the end zone, I think, on that one.
Hatcher to kick, number 35. Ken Bell is back for Denver.
Oh, that's out of the stadium.
Fair catch for Bell at the 9-yard line. So another fine punt, unreturnable. Broncos start deep in their own end. Timeout, 6 minutes, 50 seconds left in the first period. Typical of the European football stadia, a large standing room section at both end zones, and we would say that about half the crowd is standing of the over 80,000 for this sellout late evening on this Sunday night in London. No score. Elway sets up at his own 9-yard line. Lang and Winder behind him. Watson in motion.
You know what?
Oh! Crushed in his own backfield as Sammy Winder is charging through for the Los Angeles Rams.
Sean Miller from his right end position. Miller has been a nose tackle and a left end in the last year or so. Now he's over at right end. Boy, he burst through there. And of course, you want to have someone with real quickness at that right end position. And Miller showing you a lot of that. Utah Stater had 3 tackles in this game, Dick.
That's right. It's Sean Miller.
Well, one
His 4th year for the Rams.
Rulon Jones is an end, but Greg Craig in a tackle, and Sean Miller an end, and Rulon Jones an end.
So about an hour and a half.
Second down and
but
13.
So it'll be different standing up here for these 3
From
hours.
his own end zone, Elway. Underneath to Winder, incomplete. Ball jarred free as Mark Giroux played his college ball at Washington, number 59. Made the play defensively. Giroux took over last year at that linebacker spot when Jim Collins, a Pro Bowler the year before, missed the entire year with a shoulder that just would not respond. He just had total numbness, no feeling, nerve damage in that shoulder. But Collins apparently is back and healthy, and the Rams are very excited by the strength now built in that linebacking core.
Just the standings?
3 receivers to the left for Elway out of the shotgun on 3rd and long. Clarence Kay split right. Flags down. Elway doing what he does so well, scrambling, and then out of bounds at the 9. Flag down. Gain of 3 if it counts. Penalty is against the Broncos. Rams undoubtedly will decline and take the football, as the 3-yard gain would bring up 4th and 10.
There's 20,000 seats, 20,000 of these on each end, right? 26,000 standings on each end. Okay.
Apparently, in the illegal formation, too many people off of the line. Steve Watson, the man that they're ticketing for not being up on the line. Not enough people on the line of scrimmage.
You have to have at least 7. You can have more than that. But with the 3 men to the left and Kay to the right, all 4 of those wide receivers were off the line. Wagner trying to make the squad as a kickoff man and punter. Mike Moran is injured, will not kick today. And a good boot that'll come down to about the 46 of the Rams. Hicks, 45, and out of bounds at the Denver 44, maybe the 43. Third Hicks hit by Tony Lilly. Hicks, the number 3 draft pick of the Rams. Wembley Stadium back in the 1920s when they hosted the World Exposition, those domes above the roof line, part of the tribute to the country of India. Wembley in 48, of course, there they are, a pair. In the 48 Olympics, that was Fanny Blankers-Koen of the Netherlands, who won 4 gold medals, on a teenager from California, Bob Mathias, the decathlon winner for the U.S.
That was before my time.
The Rams in Bronco territory, and it's Eric Dickerson inside the 40-yard line to about the 37. Andre Townsend tripping him up from behind. So for the first time, one of the teams in opponent's territory. 5 minutes left in this first period, no score.
Okay.
Really a game dominated by some inept offense and some aggressive defense. And as we said, the defensive team's ahead of the game this early in the season. The Rams may have something going here.
2nd and 3 for Everett. He threw that one away as Carl Mecklenburg had Dickerson well covered. Well, let's see who Ahmad Rashad is covering.
All right, Dick, now in the United States, they have what they call the end zone seats, which are usually the worst seats in the house. But here, they go a step farther. These are the end zone standing. There's 26,000 of these on each end of the field. Now, people come here and they watch soccer, which usually lasts about an hour and a half, but a football game goes 3 hours. I'll check back later and see how these people are making it in the 4th quarter.
That's right. It comes as a surprise to the British, who on television see an edited version of this game, and last year didn't realize it would last quite so long. Henry Ellard with a grab and may have a first down at the 33-yard line. Ellard is a key to this Ram offense. Zampese feels he could be the Rams' Wes Chandler. He says Ellard, if everything goes well, should catch 70 balls, about 1,200 yards, and 10 touchdowns.
Hello there, everybody.
Of course, he's had contract problems with the Rams. Held out a good part of last season, but when he did come in and worked with Jim Everett, there was a very quick relationship established between the two of them, and I think he's Everett's favorite receiver.
Heisman winner Charles White from Southern California, the ball carrier. White backing up Eric Dickerson. Down at the 32, Tony Lilly, number 22, from Florida in his 4th year with the Broncos. White and the rest of the backs beside Dickerson. Robinson says, frankly, if they gain 400 yards, that's about all we expect from them. They're in there to block for Eric.
You got that horse. You got to give him a chance to play.
Are you cold yet?
White. We've seen him make some great runs. A Rose Bowl game where he was a whole show in himself. Dick.
Set the record, 247 yards, 1980 against Ohio State. Everett has a man open, and a first down inside the 20. Mike Harden on the coverage.
That'll brighten things up. Again, I mentioned the relationship between Ellard and Jim Everett. He just sends him down and out. And one thing Everett has, he hasn't yet developed all the subtle skills of an experienced quarterback, but he is getting better and better at throwing the passes he has to throw to settle into the passing game. That's that little down and out to Ellard, and well executed.
Everett now going to Kevin House. It's complete at the 6-yard line. Make it the 5. House, who played at Tampa Bay, acquired on waivers by the Rams late last year and delivered some big plays.
John Robinson talked about improving the passing environment, not just the passing game, the environment. That means protection for throwing the football and catching the football. So far, they have to be pleased at what they're seeing.
The numbers on House, the 25-yard average, of course, those 7 catches after he left Tampa Bay. Those are just his Rams numbers of 86. First and goal for the Rams, just inside the 5, and Dickerson outside, using his power, using his speed. Touchdown. 6'3" and 220 pounds, Eric Dickerson. You just isolate him on 2 Bronco defenders, and he can beat you 1 against 2.
Well, Mark Haynes had a shot at him, but simply was pushed out of the way. I think Eric just straight-armed him. But as you said it, Dick, he just used his power and his speed on that play. A good illustration of both as he put it in the end zone.
Mike Lansford to try the point after. Steve Dills, number 8, the holder. And the Los Angeles Rams have the early lead here at Wembley Stadium in London. 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Eric Dickerson from Everett, 4 yards for the touchdown.
And here we go. Watch the straight arm right there. Just pushed Haynes to the ground. Lilly had a shot at him too, but Eric using those big, powerful legs and some upper body strength that's not bad itself to push his way into the end zone.
Well, the Rams, who made it to the playoffs in the 4 years with Dickerson's running, but that drive really culminated by Dickerson, but it was the throwing of Everett to both Ellard and House that set up the score.
And there's no question, if they can get the passing game going, they'll take the heat off of Dickerson and also make him even more effective.
Wait, there's Paul Thornburn, signed by the Rams for this game. He's a Welsh national rugby player, a fullback. It's a throw for him. Thornburn to kick off. It's a little shy to the 22. Taken there by Jim Ryan. Ryan, the linebacker, out to the 32-yard line. Well, Thornburn is not going to make the $1 million contract on boots like that.
He certainly was excited. I was out at the Ram practice when he was signing his contract, and he was a very nervous young man as he was inking the bottom line of that contract.
What do you think the bonus was?
Well, I saw the numbers. There were $70,000 on the contract. That wasn't bad.
What? 70,000 what?
Oh, those were dollars, I think.
Trailing 7-0, the Broncos with 1:39 left in the first period. Elway, incomplete. Nolan Cromwell breaking up the pass intended for the tight end, Clarence Kay.
Some delightful contrasts in this game. These two defensive teams, for example, really at opposite extremes in terms of complexity. The Rams talk about their pure vanilla defense. In fact, I talked to Fritz Shermer, the defensive coordinator. I said, well, Fritz, did you put the whole offense in the first, or defense in the first day? He said, yep. Got it in.
As simple as you can make it.
Well, they just line up and challenge you. man-to-man, head-to-head, and they do it very well.
Bell and Lang now behind Elway. Watson in motion. Elway spinning out of trouble. Downfield to Kane. Complete at the 50. They love it in England. Yards, and Elway, leading quarterback runner in the last 3 years in the NFL. He bought the time.
Ahmad Rashad will remember this. Watch this Tarkington roll. Elway rolling opposite, back against the grain as he rolled out behind, and then finding a little space out there, spotted the open man and got him the football. Clarence Kay, by the way, since he's come back this year, they're leaving him in on third downs. They didn't do that last year. Moved him out on third downs.
That's testimony how far he's come back.
He's really made progress.
First down at midfield. And a whistle blows that one dead before it can get going.
If we can get a shot at Clarence later on when he has his helmet off. He shaved his head. He said, that's my American Bowl look.
5 yards on the procedure against the Broncos. First and 15 from the 45. The fans appreciating Elway's skill, a big man, 6'3", 210 pounds, not only with that rifle arm, but the fact that he has such a great sense of where the defensive pressure is in that pocket, knowing just when to roll and what direction to go. And they have a couple of plays set up off that roll by Elway that could result in some spectacular scores. Elway. Oh, a sliding catch for about 8 yards to Vance Johnson, the speedster from Arizona, who had a big Super Bowl. Cromwell on the coverage.
Johnson, of course, hurt very early last year. Really a big game in the early part of the year and a big game late in the year. Not much in between.
End of the first quarter. Rams lead by 7. At 79 for the Rams, who dominated possession. The Rams came into the game in the London bookmakers' eyes as 3.5-point underdogs. Wagering is very legal in this country. Elway can't find an orange shirt. There's one. The tight end Kay, and Mike Wilcher, number 54 from North Carolina, drills him at the 43.
One of the things that John Robinson wants his defensive team to do this year is to put more pressure on the quarterbacks. And right there you saw the result of allowing Elway too much time. One of the reasons that they've had a little trouble doing that, they really don't like to blitz. They send those down linemen, but they don't like to blitz the linebackers. They like to keep them in pass coverage.
Broncos in Rams territory for the first time. It's third down, a long 2. Kay, the tight end, being moved to the right side. Down the middle, complete. Good catch at the 37-yard line and a first down. It went to number 30, Steve Sewell, their all-purpose running back and receiver.
Looking in over the shoulder of Carl Eckern, his linebacking position. You'll see Eckern on the left-hand side of your picture. He's the man responsible for Sewell, but they're a fraction late. You're absolutely right. Sewell doing a good job of hanging onto that football. Eckern trying to strip it away. First and 10.
7-0 Rams, early second quarter. Wembley Stadium sold out again this year. Over 80,000 to see these two top NFL teams. Lang in motion. Elway drills it. Incomplete. Might have been deflected. It was intended for Vance Johnson, and Mickey Sutton there for Los Angeles, number 49. He's there in place of Leroy Irvin.
Number 82, Vance Johnson, an exciting player, very explosive, very quick off the ball. He's going to try to get himself some room down there, but I think you're right. I think Wilcher may have touched that football. Certainly came at an odd angle. Trying to run the man off with his speed. Mickey Sutton. Yeah, not supposed to touch him, Mickey, until the ball arrives.
Second down and 10. Winder and Lang behind Elway. traffic. Elway tries to scramble, and Doug Reed, number 93, stopping the Bronco quarterback from really going into a gallop. He's down to the 36-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 8.5.
Did he get him behind the line, or did he make a little yardage?
He made a couple of yards.
On that. No sack on that. Reed would have had his 2nd sack of the day had Elway gone down behind the line of scrimmage. Dan Reeves has to be a little discouraged that his offense has not been more explosive and productive here early in this ball game.
Dan Reeves very nearly was a Los Angeles Ram out of South Carolina. It's a story, if we have time, we'll share with you. Elway, this is one of those plays, and open is Watson. Incomplete, broken up by Jerry Gray as the ball hit the ground. That's one of those planned scrambles to the left, and then Watson cutting across the middle, stopping and then angling to the far side. Only a man with an arm like Elway can even consider a pass like that.
That's a transcontinental pass. Elway is designed to scramble to the outside, as you said. Watson tries to drive his man inside, but look at the reactions of number 25, Jerry Gray. He's not going to have any of that. In fact, came very close to intercepting that ball. He has it there. It's a scramble. Ball ends up rolling loose. Neither of them had it, but that is a dangerous pass. It's in the air so long, and you're right. Most quarterbacks and most coaches in the league won't call that play.
5 yards against the Broncos for delay of game. Now that'll give us a chance to underline one of the changes, at least in the preseason, an experimental rule by the NFL, a 40-second clock rather than a 30. The 40 being as soon as the ball is marked dead. They start a 40-second clock rather than waiting, say, on an incomplete pass to bring the ball all the way back, mark it, and then start a 30-second clock. So it's a 40-second clock being used for the first 3 preseason games. Then they'll decide whether or not it works in the regular year. Wagner, after the penalty, will deliver from around the 50-yard line. Johnny Johnson deep for the Rams, the veteran safety. And it will go out of bounds. A good kick inside the 5. Brian Wagner, Cal State Northridge, trying to win a job, does a good job on that punt inside the 5. With Merlin Olsen, Dick Enberg, and Ahmad Rashad with the crowd here at Wembley Stadium. The Rams lead the Broncos 7-0, and on first down, Charles White manages just a yard against a second unit defense of the Broncos. That was number 38, Bruce Plummer, 9th-round pick from Mississippi State, that made the tackle.
What's your name?
Bill.
2 yards for White on the play. It's 2nd down and 8. The Rams scoring on a Dickerson run of 4. He's not in there, but the rest of the first unit is. Charles White at tailback. Ellard right, Brown, the Olympic sprinter, to the left. Everett looking over the middle, has Ellard, incomplete at the 25. Broken up by Tyrone Braxton, 34, a rookie. Let's go to a veteran, Ahmad Rashad.
All right. Now, I know all of you out there have heard of Broncomania, but I bet you didn't know it came all the way over here to England. And I've got you. Now, tell me now, how'd you get caught up in this Broncomania?
Well, and John Elway is the greatest footballer, and we've just got to...
No. Tell me about the Super Bowl last year. That's what I want to ask you
Super
about.
Bowl, oh, it's so disappointing. We should have won. It was incredible. I was up till 4 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. watching.
Right. Let's watch the play. We'll be right back.
Everett just eluding a safety and now scrambles out of bounds at the 12-yard line. It'll be short of a first down. Number 99, Raymond Woodard of Texas, almost had 2 points for the Broncos. Interesting in that chap with Ahmad Rashad. Elway's his favorite, but he wears Steve Watson.
Well, maybe that's the only jersey he can get his hands on.
I guess all the 7s were sold out.
Yeah.
Look how close Everett came from being dumped in his own end zone.
But a safety, obviously, he's glad to escape that, and smart to get out of bounds. Another step or so, and he's going to be leveled.
Well, the Broncos, nevertheless, will come up with good field position. Ricky Nattiel back at the 45. He's a dangerous kick returner. Hatcher's kick's a beauty. Nattiel, the rookie from Florida, at the 43. 45-50. 45-40. Ricky Nattiel, you're going to see a lot of him in Denver this year. 5'9", 180 pounds, and Dale Hatcher was in on the tackle along with John Embry. 45-yard punt by Hatcher, a 22-yard return by that man Natil, who was a high school quarterback before entering University of Florida.
A lot of people surprised when Dan Reeves and the Broncos staff took this man on their first available choice, but they just said we couldn't leave him. He has too much talent. He's the exciting kind of player that can help us, and although we have some speed receivers already, many people expected them to go after the big down running back.
First down play goes to Ken Bell, a second-year man from Boston College, a quick hitter from quarterback John Elway into the 29-yard line. Gary Kubiak has replaced Elway at quarterback, and it was Kubiak on that throw as he completes his first toss.
I think we'll see a little more of Elway later in this quarter.
Or to start the second half.
Yes, and also to start the second half. But for the moment, Kubiak is in to handle responsibilities.
Solid backup. He's done a good job whenever called upon. 2nd and 2 inside the 30. It's Sewell from Oklahoma around the corner and dumped after a first down at the 24. Mickey Sutton made the tackle. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Dick, I'm still here with Bill Groves, see, because he hasn't quite explained to me what happened to the Broncos last year in the Super Bowl.
We were robbed.
You were robbed?
Yes, we should have gone for a pass on them 2 1-yard line situations.
Yeah.
And instead of trying 3 running plays.
That happens, man.
And we'd have
you know, I played on the Vikings. We lost 4 times. We were robbed
you
too.
Played on the Vikings?
You played.
Did you really play on the Vikings, Ahmad?
That might be a continuing discussion. A little reverse, and it goes to Mark Jackson, and he's out of bounds at the 25, maybe the 24. Mike Wilcher not fooled by the reverse play.
Rams not buying any of that. A moment ago, you saw Steve Sewell doing what Dan Reeves thinks he's going to be able to do more of this year. He's beefed himself up to about 210 pounds. They're hoping that he can take some of the load at that running back position, and he looked like he is a load when he was coming around on that running play.
Well, with Winder and Lang, they look like they could wear the same uniform, 5'10", 5'11", around 200 pounds. They're looking for a little bigger back to improve that running game. Sewell is bigger, and rookie Warren Marshall from James Madison University is a 216-pounder. We'll see him later. Kubiak didn't like what he saw, has called time. 9 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the first half. Second and 11 deep in Ram territory. Kubiak deflected at the line of scrimmage. He was trying to hit Ricky Natil. I believe it was Mark Giroux who had the coverage, and one of the defensive linemen, could have been Doss, 71, got a big hand up. So that'll bring up 3rd and 11 for Kubiak, who played his college ball at Texas A&M, now in his 5th year with the Broncos. He, like Elway, drafted in the 1983 rounds, only he was picked 197 spots after Elway.
He's been a good one. Been a good one.
Eric Dickerson, also part of that 83 draft. Ooh, deflected out of the hands of Steve Sewell by 51. Norwood Van from East Carolina. Rich Carlos going to come on and try a field goal for Denver.
We saw a lot of Steve Sewell at the H-back position last year, coming in motion. This particular play, look at that fine defensive play. Van stretching with that outside hand, reaching across in front to deflect that football. Ball would have been caught otherwise. Well thrown by Kubiak.
Rich Carlos, who kicked the Broncos into the Super Bowl with a 33-yarder in overtime against the Cleveland Browns. That'll be long remembered by both cities. Drills a long high attempt, and it is good. Rich Carlos easily from 41 yards out, and the Broncos are on the board. Just under 9 minutes left in the opening half. Rams 7, Denver 3. After the field goal, the kickoff comes down to Clifford Hicks of the Rams, and the former Oregon Duck returns to the 21-yard line. Darren Como was the special team star for the Broncos, 59 last year, in on another hit. First down, Los Angeles, and let's see the changes that John Robinson makes. There's Robinson, who you've admired his relationship with the athlete, have you not, Merlin?
Well, I really have. I don't know of a coach in the NFL who has more respect from his players than John Robinson, and I like him. I really like the man. I think he's a straight shooter.
Charles White on the sweep has 5-6 yards, maybe 7 before rookie Dallas Cameron from Miami of Florida can make the tackle. Robinson told us prior to this game that those are his top priorities. Improve the passing game, and that's obvious, getting Zampese from San Diego. He engineered that Dan Fouts run offense. 6 out of 8 years best in the NFL. Improve the pass rush. He didn't like the fact that the sack total was down in the 30s last year. And he wants to return the special teams back to #1 where they were a couple of years ago. And there was a fourth. He says Eric Dickerson has to cut his fumbles in half. Long throw by Everett. He's got a man in the clear. Ron Brown incomplete at the 30-yard line. Well, you'll see Ron Brown again later on NBC Sports World. He's one of the competitors in the NFL's fastest man contest out in Palm Desert, California. Believe it or not, Ahmad Rashad, never known for his speed, is going to make it from London out to the desert of California.
Well, you got to be fast to do that. Vance Johnson is in that competition too.
Vance Johnson of the Denver Broncos. Phillips of Green Bay. The defending champion Darrell Green of the Washington Redskins, injured, was unable to defend his title. 3rd down and 4 for Everett. Over the middle, complete to Ellard, and a first down just shy of the 40-yard line. Let's check the numbers. They get it. Ron Brown it was. Brown going on a long sprint downfield and then just a little curl underneath. Bruce Plummer, a rookie defender, made the tackle. And a first down for Los Angeles. Well, the passing game has looked good. First catch for Brown. This is White, a little misdirection. And he's toppled. A flag is down as well. Tyrone Braxton up from the secondary to make the hit. He's from North Dakota State, a 12th round draft pick, number 34. Clipping is the call against the Rams, and that'll send them back. The Rams have a difficult situation because of this game. They'll fly home tonight, get into California early in the morning. Little trouble. Well, part of Tom Dooley's call, and then have to play at home against Seattle Thursday night. So they have little time to recover nor practice before playing again.
I think that's a dangerous situation. That's certainly something that they're going to have to try and correct in the future, not to stagger a couple of games that close together for a team that'll be fighting all that jet lag. The thing I'd be worried about is players who aren't alert, can't be alert, getting hurt in that game. And I'm sure that's John Robinson's concern.
First down and long for Everett. What a catch by David Hill, the big tight end. He's listed at 6'2" and 235.
I don't believe that.
That's 30 pounds within 30.
David Hill, not known for his pass catching abilities, at least not in recent years for the Rams. More of a blocker, but he's the emergency receiver picked out by Everett here. And you see there how quick Everett can get that ball off when he wants to. He has an unusual throwing motion, kind of just swinging that ball out on the side. But he is making real progress as a passer.
Out to the 31-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 18. Draw play to White. Skips away from Robbins, but has to give ground. And lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Randy Robbins, 48, came up to force the play wide. Steve Wilson, the veteran from Howard University, number 45, finally got him out of bounds, along with Simon Fletcher, 73.
Simon Fletcher, an interesting story, has been a down lineman. They've moved him back to linebacking position this year. Want to give him a chance to cut his teeth there. Can you imagine what it would look like if they had Simon Fletcher, 6'5" and 260 pounds on one side, Mecklenburg on the other? You got to pick one or the other to go after. Oof.
3rd down and long. Everett goes underneath to Hill, the tight end, 40, and tripped up at the 42-yard line. That'll be about 8 shy of a first down. Rookie Darrell Russell, free agent from Appalachian State, made the tackle. So the second line, even the third line Denver defense played very well in that drive, stopping basically a first team offensive unit of the Rams. And into punt is Dale Hatcher. Ken Bell back at the 20 for Denver. Rams leading 7-3, 5 minutes 35 seconds left in the first half. Beautiful spiral. Oh my, is that a beauty. Bell inside the 10 and smothered at the 12 or 13.
The key to that punt was hang time. When you put it that high, you give your coverage people a chance to get down underneath it. Hatcher showing the form that got him in the Pro Bowl in his rookie year.
50 yards on that one, a 3-yard return there. You see Leroy Irvin, 47, out of uniform except for the jersey. Well, wonder what's happening with Ahmad Rashad.
Dick, you know, these fans are not only just fans, they're very knowledgeable. Now, Bill told me earlier that the Broncos were robbed in the Super Bowl. What do they have to do this year to get back to the Super Bowl?
Just play the same as they did last year, and they'll be there.
Yeah, but how about winning it this time?
They will win this year. They will win.
There have been some teams that have not won, and here's one of them right here, but my man's still proud of it anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, great.
All right, go Vikes.
A man of select words. You notice he got a Viking guy, though.
You're drawing a real crowd down there, Ahmad.
6 yards on that opening play for the Broncos. It'll be 2nd down and 4 at their own 20-yard line. Jackson to the left, Natil to the right. Gary Kubiak at quarterback. Over the middle to Joey Hackett, 25, 30, 33, and Hackett is a big load to bring down. 6'5" and 267 from Elon of North Carolina. He's as big as the school.
Well, I tell you, he is a horse. Younger brother Dino, a linebacker in Kansas City. Carl Eckert, a man who's going to try and gather him up. Eckert with a fine year last year, selected to the Pro Bowl for his first time. Quick response, but that's just trying to flag down a truck. He's got a piece of him, but away he went.
First down on the pass play to the 32-yard line. 3:57 remaining in the first half. Kubiak underneath again to Bell, and Mark Giroux there immediately. Giroux, an academic All-American at Washington, A student. John Elway now helping Dan Reeves with the signal making from the sidelines. There are Reeves' priorities this year, improving that running game. He wants to get that average up into the 4s, and he wants to be better against the run. And he was a little disappointed last year in the 2-minute defense. He felt he gave up too many points late in the first and second half.
Well, I think too he wants to make sure they don't give up as many points as they did late in the season last year. They had some defensive problems.
2nd down and 8. Draw play, and there's a hole for Bell. 40, 45. He's all the way to the 49. Eckern brings him down along with Norwood Van and Michael Stewart, a rookie, but 18 yards for Bell on the play.
It's interesting that Ken Bell, of course, one of the people that is going to get a good look. Denver, when they couldn't find the big running back they wanted in the draft, they said, well, let's give the people we have here another shot, and let's give them all the help we can give them. So far, Ken Bell has looked good. Steve Sewell has looked good.
There's another youngster, Joe Dudek from Plymouth State, that they like, and he'll be battling Bell for a spot on the roster. Nothing that time for Sewell except Mark Giroux, number 59.
These two teams worked against each other 3 days during the week, practiced against each other, had scrimmages, some very emotional, hard-hitting scrimmages, actually, particularly with the younger players. And I think had they not done that, had they tried to work out on their own since they'd gone to one-a-days over here instead of a 2-a-day practice as they would have at home, they might have lost some ground. But I think by working against the other team, they pumped the emotion into those practices and got a lot out of them.
Approaching the 2-minute warning, they may not get the play off, and they do not. There is the whistle. No play. The 2-minute timeout here at Wembley Stadium, where the British wave is in evidence. The score, the Los Angeles Rams 7, the Denver Broncos 3. John Elway returns to the Bronco lineup in this 2-minute drill. That's one of the things Dan Reeves hoped that he would have in this game, giving Elway a chance in the 2-minute. It's a screen, and he has blocker Steve Sewell. But breaking through that wedge was 93 Doug Reed, who's played an outstanding first half defensively for the Rams. Reed from San Diego State, the man who replaced one of the Ram immortals, Shaq Youngblood, a couple of years ago. Youngblood now in the front office of the Los Angeles Rams.
Kevin Green in quickly to pressure Elway, and I think Elway had to unload that screen a little bit sooner than he wanted to, maybe making it possible to read it. Usually the defensive linemen have penetrated further by the time he'd get that ball off.
Third down, a short 8. Elway a little pitch to Sewell at the 40, 35, open field. Steve Sewell to the 23-yard line and a first down, Denver. Well, in essence, it's the draw play out of the shotgun, the little toss forward to Sewell.
A little shovel pass. We remember this one. The Dallas Cowboys ran it effectively for a number of years. Sewell starting across inside. Watch the defensive end. The trick is to pull the defensive end in, make it look like a pass, and then trap him. They didn't even have to trap him. He's so far, Evans so far upfield that Sewell had an open path. They were able to just run the lineman upfield, give him an extra blocker, and he picked up excellent yardage.
Well, John Robinson had his top draft pick, Donald Evans, 64. He was the man slickered by the play, and Evans perhaps didn't have that same kind of training at Winston-Salem State. Elway to Wilhite, Gerald Wilhite, and he gets out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Kevin Green helped him measurably. No gain. Well, they corrected the clock. It was down under a minute and now reset, and there's exactly a minute remaining at the moment. Merlin, I know you want to join all of us in congratulating the inductees that join you in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Our former colleague Lenny Dawson, Larry Zonka, Joe Green, John Henry Johnson, Jim Langer, Don Maynard, and Gene Upshaw, inducted yesterday in Canton, Ohio.
Well, I know the feeling, and I know how excited they were yesterday. It's still probably glowing through them right now.
Elway looking long. Watson can't hang on at the 5-yard line, broken up. Number 23, Michael Stewart, a 8th-round draft pick from Fresno State, making a tough play against a talented veteran receiver, Watson.
The other thing that made that catch difficult was the fact that Jerry Gray went up so high, kind of blocked Watson's view of the ball as it came over the top.
Third down and 10 for the Broncos at the 23-yard line. They trail by 4, 7-3. Watson, Jackson to the right. Vance Johnson is split to the left. 10th play of this drive. Elway, little roll, plenty of protection. Throws cross field to Sewell. Sewell inside the 20, but not enough for a first down. Stopped at the 18. Stewart along with Norwood Van. Eckern there as well for the Rams. So Carlos will not come on here, but they will go for the field goal. Mike Clendenin will try it for the Broncos. An apparent field goal attempt, we should say.
Clendenin, a barefoot kicker, as is the Ram kicker, Mike Lansford.
It will be a 35-yard attempt by Clendenin. He spins it through. Didn't have a lot of distance, but enough to get 3 for the Broncos. So Clendenin on the board for his first pro field goal. Not totally happy with the kick. He got under it a little too much, a little fat, but it's good enough for a Denver 3.
That thing was rotating a mile a minute. A real chip shot. Watch how far he goes underneath this ball. Kicks it high in the air. Just touches the edge of that goalpost. But hey, it's 3 points.
Plenty for the Wembley crowd to respond to, and I hope some moments for you at home. The Rams in front at half-time by 1. John, what did you make of that first half?
It was a typical preseason game where the defense comes out and dominates. the offense a little bit rusty because it takes a while for the offense to get that coordination between the quarterback and the receivers and get everything ticking. But we've seen a lot of our stars out there. We've seen some good play, and I think we'll see more in the second half.
Right, let's talk about those stars. First of all, we had Dickerson's run, touchdown run, but it follows some passing, which is a new element for the Rams.
That's right, their quarterback, Everett, they've never had a quarterback who could spark the team. And he came out with 3 nice passes in that drive, a 5-yard pass, a 13, a 15, got them rolling, gave the ball to Dickerson on the 4-yard line, and Dickerson did the rest. Nobody can stop Dickerson from inside that 5-yard line. He just roared into the end zone, which is Dickerson's style.
And as if he was hurt by the attention that Dickerson was getting, Elway responded immediately, breaking out of the pocket.
He did. Elway's strength is coming out of that pocket and improvising.